So yeah, I mean, one day you're calling up and you're speaking to somebody who is so much into Ayurveda that that person tells you, okay, why don't you add these 2-3 ingredients also, and they will just enhance your product a lot. So plus there are customers who would also come back and tell you that, I found the foaming a little lesser. It's but the freshness is excellent, but the foaming can be a little better. So it's very important for us also, because we can make those changes in the next batch. I mean, that's what B2C brands are all about, being close to the customer and being there for the customer.
Hey, this is where I talk to the best drivers of the direct-to-consumer industry, like founders, investors, marketers, CROs, agencies, and dwell into strategies that they've been using to build some great D2C businesses. Let's go on the D2C drive. I'm your host, Ashish Ramamurthy. Hey guys, I guess I'm sitting on a Friday evening and talking to this amazing person called as Kavita, who runs a D2C e-commerce brand called as Spicta. I pretty much came across them last year, right? And I've been a fan of them. I've even ordered their products, used their toothpaste, right? And oh my God, I have to say, the kind of freshness that Spicta really brought into my life was amazing, Kavita, right? And I think with that mission that you went forward and launched your product online, it was an amazing start. And I guess I'm sure there's a lot of stories, there's a lot of customers, there's a lot of developments which has gone through in building such a business and growing as we speak. So with that, thank you so much for hopping on to the D2C Drive podcast, where we talk to founders, marketers on what's going on, what are they building, how is the e-commerce revolution happening, how is the D2C revolution happening. So Kavita, why don't you share a bit background on what were you doing before Spicta? How did Spicta came into life?
So, before Spicta, I was with Flipkart in their grocery division, and I was a category manager for their personal and baby care category. So I got a lot of insights about the categories that are operating into personal care. Where is there which categories is there a scope for new players? Are there any categories at all where, a D2C brand can sort of evolve and sort of become larger? That's when I realized that oral care is one category which is dominated by just 2 to 3 players in India. There is complete lack of innovation in terms of flavors, or in terms of formulations, or in terms of the product lines as such. So, for example, it's any oral care product that you see in India right now, it's just probably a mint flavor, and then a lot of chemicals, a lot of artificial sweeteners, a lot of toxic chemicals. So that's about it. That's all that the product contains. So then we try to understand that, is there a gap here? Is there something that consumers actually want which they're not getting in the present oral care products? So let's just take the brushing journey, for example. So when we spoke to a lot of customers, we realized that there's a lot of things which are lacking. Now, what do they want in their oral care routine? They want freshness, they want a very good aftertaste, they don't want bad breaths, they don't want a burning sensation when they use a mouthwash. So we realized that there are a lot of things that customers actually want from their oral care products, which the traditional brands are not catering to. So these brands just talk about killing germs and fighting bacteria and fighting cavities. But where is the entire care behind oral care? So where is that entire, experience in the oral care process?
No, I can relate to you because, hey, I've been using Colgate and Pepsodent for pretty much all my years, and still I had to go to my dentist, I had to get my root canals done, I had to get all of that done.
Right? Yeah.
That meant that it was the system gamified me primarily, right? It showed me a picture that I believed in, and that's what even maybe our previous generations have been believed in, right? But I think folks like you who came and said, okay, no, there's something really going wrong, right? So kudos to you for, first of all, taking that effort, right? because uh, while a lot of brands want to make money, and yeah, it is a end goal, it is a bottom line thing in life, but here you're coming and saying no, it's more than that. It's about taking care of your one of the most important organs
Exactly. Yeah.
of of your of your life.
Yeah. So, the thing is that people think a lot about what products they use for their hair or for their skin or what they eat. But like you said, oral care is something that strikes you or comes to your mind only when you have a dental problem. Why is that so? I mean, isn't there something that should be done before it in the entire process in your day-to-day life so that, you don't face those problems for a really, really long time?
No, I believe you because I've been a victim of that, right?
Yeah.
You have no idea that I have already spent about six-figure or money for my dental care,
Yeah.
right? That's because hey, yeah, there was no one to really understand my problems a little better, understand what is right, what is wrong. Again, every consumer is different, right? Like that's why direct to consumer is so amazing to be, right? As a model, as a way to work. How did you guys, when you guys launched the first product, I would say you guys launched last year, October, uh, what was the initial set of challenges that you faced to even launch the business?
Firstly, I'll start with the entire products, product lines. Like which product lines do you select? How do you go about the which flavors do you want to use, or which other ingredients do you want to use? So I'll tell you. So oral care in India is rather just about brushing your teeth, right? Nobody even thinks about using a mouthwash or using a floss, or maybe say things like, no, your teeth should be whiter because that will make you look more confident. So nobody really thinks on all those things. So that's when we decided that there is a huge gap in this segment in terms of product lines that can be developed, which is why we said that we want to cater to each of these segments. So that's how the entire product line has been launched from October last year till now. So we have two toothpastes, again, one cream based and one gel based, because we know that there are customers who like a cream kind of like a non-transparent texture, and then there are customers who like a transparent texture. So that's why there are two toothpastes. Then there is a mouthwash. Then we have a teeth whitening powder. And we have a quick tooth foam. So that's like the first ever product in India, the first ever category in India. Because, you're traveling, you're in office, you just want to feel fresh. And I mean, so, you just pump it in your mouth, you swish it and spit it out. It gives you a fresh feeling, and it also cleans your mouth as such, because during the day you're eating a lot of stuff, you're drinking things, but you're not necessarily rinsing your mouth. And that causes a lot of plaque buildup in your mouth in those particular hours of the day. So first was the entire research in understanding which categories do we want to launch, which categories, because again, oral care is right now a very low involvement purchase in India. So you launch something which is too fancy, customers may not be interested in it. You will hunt something which needs to be, which needs to actually solve their problems, and at the same time give them solutions to what they're expecting. Then you come to the next part, that what ingredients do you use? What are the ingredients currently going into the toothpaste or mouthwash or any oral care product? And of course, like I said before, right, we saw that there are so many chemicals. Now, the next step was to understand why that chemical is used. What is the purpose of that chemical? So we realized that, say, for example, SLS, which is sulfates, that is used to generate foam in your mouth. Now, you have to remove SLS because it's harmful, but you have to replace it with something, because if you don't give that foaming kind of a feel in your toothpaste, you're actually expecting too much from a consumer who is used to that high froth toothpaste. So we had to find alternatives. We had to find natural foaming agents. We had to also decide in what proportion do we use the natural foaming agents, so that, so you're never going to match the effect of artificial foaming agents. So what is the closest that you can reach so that the customer still feels that clean effect in his mouth, and at the same time, it's not doing him any harm. So in fact, when we were doing a lot of sample testings, people told us that, okay, I'm not feeling clean. So not feeling clean was because the foaming parameter was lower. So it was actually a lot of permutations, combinations, trying to understand, like when the customer says not clean, I don't feel fresh, it's not because it's less of mint in the toothpaste, it's because it's not foaming enough. So those are the kinds of things which we had to understand from consumers. The flavors, the exact balance of flavors. We have a lot of these plant-based flavors in our toothpaste, right? You have a ginger mint toothpaste and a cucumber mint toothpaste. What is the kind of feedback from consumers? Are they fine with say ginger kind of a flavor? Do they like it? Do they want slightly more sweetening agent in that? So all of those things, multiple permutations, combinations had to be done. The next was, again, because we were doing away with chemicals, what exact natural ingredient should we replace it with? So if we've used aloe vera gel, why do we have to use aloe vera? If we are using green tea leaf extracts, what will it do? So all of those things, there was a lot of time and effort that went into the entire research of first product lines, then the ingredients, then the flavors, or for that matter, you're replacing fluoride, right? So fluoride ingredient, so that's where we came up with NHA, which is actually better than fluoride to strengthen your teeth. So that was the entire initial challenge in product development and product research. And then, of course, after you finish your research, it's all about finding the right set of partners, be it your manufacturer, be it your vendors, your packaging vendors. You need to have the right set of people and you need to build the right rapport with them so that your entire execution is...
And how did you go about this?
We actually spoke to a lot of people. We got in touch with a lot of formulators, a lot of manufacturers, tried to understand what is their expertise. Would they be able to do something for us? Do they have this kind of a facility?
This was all like call them, talk to them, meeting,
ask for samples, everything. And then
I'm sure this took a lot of time.
The launch is October, but there's a lot of work that goes before that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were also discussing in the community, that, hey, maybe we need to have some sort of vetted people that we all know, we have worked with, and come together and provide this as a resource so that others don't face the same problem as we do. Right. So,
entire bit of certifications, like you have to apply for Made Safe because you are toxin free. You have to get those certifications, FDA. So a lot of approvals that keep happening at the back end.
And nobody to guide you in all of this.
It's just calling up people, asking them, and yeah.
Damn, like we've seen the ecosystem evolve, but still there is problems. Very interesting. I mean, every time I talk, it's like, hey, there's still a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
So moving on, right? So once you manufacture, did you kind of like decide that, hey, we're going to make sure that profit margins are a very important thing. So making it direct to consumer, owning the entire experience will actually gain us better control over each and everything? Or you chose that, hey, we just need distribution, we'll go be everywhere and see what's going to work?
No. So we took a conscious call that we want to be D2C first. So we launched only on website to start with. We gradually started expanding to Amazon, Flipkart, and a couple of...
What were those factors or things that you really considered to choose D2C?
So see, one thing is the kind of the entire customer feedback loop that you get in D2C. That is something which you don't get in marketplace or even in offline for that matter. While it is a very important channel in today's times, it's very important to go omni-channel and to expand to other channels. Your initial set of customers, getting them from D2C is a very big advantage because one, you have their entire data. You can just, in fact, we've done that. We just call them up, we ask them, okay, how did you find the product? What is your feedback? And we've got lots of inputs from them as well. Like you don't know who you are speaking to, right? It turns out that you're speaking to a dentist one day, and another day you're speaking to a mom who says, okay, my kid is telling me that I want this flavor the next time.
Was this before Moda or after Moda?
Uh, this was so it some of it was before, but a lot of it was after also.
Did the platform help you in any way to understand your customer?
It did, yeah. So we've leveraged the entire we started leveraging the email marketing channel a lot through Modas. So yeah, I mean, one day you're calling up and you're speaking to somebody who is so much into Ayurveda that that person tells you, okay, why don't you add these 2-3 ingredients also, and they will just enhance your product a lot. So plus there are customers who would also come back and tell you that, I found the foaming a little lesser. It's but the freshness is excellent, but the foaming can be a little better. So it's very important for us also, because we can make those changes in the next batch. I mean, that's what D2C brands are all about, being close to the customer and being there for the customer wherever
Totally.
needed.
Like, thank you so much for speaking that, because we launched a newsletter called as Closer to Customers, right? On the very similar lines that, like, hey, as much as you understand the customers a better, be in their lives, be in their shoes, uh, evolve with them. That like, see, for me, brand is always people. Brand is always the customers. Like, customers define the brand. So are you guys making sure, how many customers are you getting? Like, are you calling each and every one of them? In scale, how are you looking to manage this thing?
So see, right now we are calling them ourselves, because initially it's very important that we as co-founders speak to them and understand them and get first-hand feedback, rather than deploying it to somebody else. But we'll see gradually how it goes. Maybe we'll see how to do it. But I know for sure that even when we reach to a very large scale, we would definitely make it a point to speak to customers, because that's the thing which connects customers to brands, and they feel that they're part of the brand, and they become true ambassadors of the brand. So that's
But,
actually
amazing. Community-led approach 101. Like,
yeah.
period. So, how are you getting your orders? Like, how is your acquisition channels going on?
So right now, again, the primary channel is our website. We've also, like I told you, right, we're now available on Amazon and Flipkart as well, and a couple of other smaller marketplaces that focus on vegan products or sustainability and all of those aspects.
Nice.
We are planning to scale to offline sometime later. This
Go retail primarily?
retail, yes.
Okay.
So, but again, before that, there would be a lot of experimentation in terms of which area, which segment, which category, which type of retail. So obviously, all of that needs to be figured out. So that is something which we would want to do in this year
Awesome.
in terms of distribution.
Awesome. So how big is your team, and how do you manage the business right now? Like, in terms of what takes more time, what takes less time, uh, you know?
So I think right now, obviously the product development. So earlier, the entire focus was on product development, product formulation, and getting those things right. Now the entire focus is towards marketing, how we leverage multiple marketing channels, be it social media or emails or WhatsApp or partnerships or whatever it is. However, how do you leverage each channel in its best possible way to sort of acquire more and more customers and make your presence in the market? So that's the main focus for us right now.
Yeah.
Of course,
And I have also, I mean, I guess with the recent report of Shopify as well, what they've been telling is that this is going to be the year where brands collaborate more
yeah,
for partnerships, two, influencers, three, building those community brand ambassadors,
yeah,
four, optimizing for that closer to customer and also making sure that you're you have a sustainable margins across the board and you're not too much burning your things off. Is this something that you guys are also looking at?
Yeah. We are. I mean, of course, everybody is looking at that, how to optimize the entire spends in terms of marketing and to get the best possible results. So, yes, everybody across the industry is working towards that.
So in your category, do you have competitors in what you're doing?
Of course, there are competitors, and the major competitor that we would say would be the traditional brands, the traditional market leaders, because that's the switch.
Chemical oriented.
Exactly. Yeah. So the market share of those brands is so huge that in every house you have one brand or the other out of those three giants, and they are our biggest competitors right now. And the consumer switch that needs to happen is from those giants who have spent huge marketing budgets, who've been in the market for hundreds of years, switching consumer pattern and consumer behavior from those products to, say, a chemical-free oral care product.
One more thing is, see, toothpaste is used by everyone.
Yeah.
Right. But I guess when you're selling the initial boards, you need to have few ICPs, few problems, few use cases that you're looking for. What is the kind of use cases that you guys are? What is the kind of ICP, their problems and use cases that you're solving for it?
The major segment that we are focusing on, or the major consumer behaviors that we're focusing on, is that we're seeing that shift in consumer mindset from traditional brands to new age brands, or from chemical oriented products to more of natural alternatives. So we're seeing that shift. It's just that they're probably not finding the right set of products in oral care. So the mindset is already there in a certain segment of customers that I want to switch to something which is vegan. I want to switch to something, to a brand which is focusing towards sustainability. That mind shift change has already come. It's about finding the right set of products which they're not finding in oral care. So that's the entire way in which we are positioning our and of course, like, your mouthwash gives you a burning sensation while brushing. That's not how a mouthwash is supposed to be. It's because of alcohol. Why don't you try our peach mint mouthwash? Your toothpaste gives you a very chemical kind of a feeling in your mouth. That's not how it's supposed to feel. So it's a lot of education and educating them that what they're using is probably not the best thing for them right now. And there is a better option. So, you were looking for it and we've solved it for you. That's the thing.
Awesome. Hey, that's lovely, because as I understand more, it becomes so important to build that community for your brand of people who believe in vegan sustainability. They know what you're building is great, and eventually they'll be like, hey, we will voice what you want to voice. To people out there, and we'll all create a change together. So, and I mean, I understand that becomes so important in your case. Two, what I want to understand now is, what has been some of the greatest of wins or some of the learnings that you've had till now? I know it's too small to speak, but still, every day is a new day.
Yeah.
Second, what are the plans for this year and the next year for you guys?
So I think the biggest win for us has been the customer feedback. The consumers have absolutely loved the products. So we've actually called most of the customers till now and over the last few months, and what they've told us is that they're really happy with the freshness, with the aftertaste. They've said that they actually recommended our products to their family and friends, and we've started seeing them come again to buy from us. So that's been the biggest learning for us, that what we are doing is right. And actually, when we launched, we had a lot of obviously you're launching in a category which is so dominant by market leaders. You have that doubt that will customers like this flavor, or will they be happy with, say, a slightly lesser foaming than what their traditional toothpaste do. But people have actually told us that they've started becoming permanent customers of Spicta, because they really like the overall after feel, post brushing experience, like what we say. So that has been the biggest feedback for us. And what I told you, right? People have actually given us so many recommendations, so many suggestions that we could use in our upcoming product launches. Some suggestions that we could fix in our in our next batch. Some new flavors which they want us to explore. So it's the kind of rapport that we've started building with customers that has been sort of the biggest win for us.
Where do you build this rapport? Is it on phone? Is it on social media? Is it on a where do you find this post purchase, first party data?
So I think we've tried a lot of things. We tried emails, we tried social media, we tried calling, but we've sort of realized that the best connect is happening through the personal touch and when we call them. That's when we're getting the most genuine feedback and recommendations per se from them. Obviously, later on, you don't need to call them repeatedly. So if you call them once, they will remember you and they will read all your emails and all your WhatsApp and everything on social media. But of course, that one personal touch is something which personally we feel that is something which is helping us right now.
It's those small things which makes a huge difference situation.
Yeah, right.
Amazing. Sounds good. What are the plans for this year? Yeah.
So we have a couple of product launches planned, which are under development, and a few product lines which we are contemplating that we would probably launch these sometime this year. So that's going to be one in terms of expanding product lines, because like I said, there's a lot to be done in oral care, and very little has been done till now. So, so that's one key thing that we're planning to do. Obviously, the second would be to scale the brand, to expand it across marketplaces as well as a few offline channels. Those are the couple of things which we are planning in this year.
Are you expanding your team anytime soon?
We will be, but after a few months down the line.
Awesome. So, are you guys putting in, like, is it bootstrapped? Is it you trying to raise money now?
We are bootstrapped right now. So yeah, we'll think about the entire funding process and everything.
Later, sure. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Kavita, for so much. We learned a lot today. I think I got to understand more about inside of how Spicta works, and every day is a fresh start for you guys, to be really frank.
Yeah.
For the business, for your consumers and everything. That's a good angle, keep every day, get up with the fresh start.
Yeah. You gave me a new idea, actually.
I'm good at this. I'm so natural at giving this idea. Yeah. Anyways, hey, been a great evening. Thank you so much for making it. And yeah, we're all here rooting for you.
Thanks a lot, Ashish. It was lovely time.
Okay. Cheers. Bye, guys. Thanks everyone for joining in.